So here's the story. New House Democrat Rashida Tlaib had a pretty surprising victory speech of her own just hours after she was sworn in. Watch.
When your son looks at you and says, "Mama, look, you won," bullies don't win. And I said, "Baby, they don't, because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the
Oh, I'm so oh. Well, she doubled down on Twitter, posting, "I will always speak truth to power." So did what she say offend you, or was it just locker room talk?
Well, she said that she was telling that to her kids. She's got two sons. One is 13 and 7. I hope she didn't use that exact language with her. I mean, I'm not here to tell anyone how to parent,
listen
but
to what kids say these days? But anyway.
But also, if that's the Democratic playbook, because they now have some power. We've talked about Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, they got a lot of
they
power.
might as well learn from the Clinton years, and when the Republicans used all of their efforts to try and get Clinton out of office, that totally bombed on them. So if they're going to focus strictly on impeaching the president and not on their own policies, all I will say is good luck with that. Good luck
So
in
that's the
2020.
part that you're talking about, the impeach, not the word.
Well, both.
Oh.
Look, on the impeachment part, I think it's premature to rule it out, and I think it's premature to say that you are going to do it. You really can't impeach somebody until you know if there's an impeachable offense, until you know the facts and where that takes you. On the language, I find it offensive. Listen, we spend a lot of time criticizing President Loco, Individual One, whatever you want to call it, the guy in the White House, because of how he has cheapened the office of the presidency.
Right.
And so it is not appropriate for Democrats or anybody who's in Congress representing Americans to go there and speak this way. She is now a congresswoman. She's not just, you know, an organizer.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can all agree. I don't think the language is appropriate. It wasn't appropriate when the future president was on the bus. It wasn't appropriate for
Access Hollywood.
The Access Hollywood tape. Republicans and many Americans
talking about
didn't.
Haiti.
Yeah, it wasn't appropriate for him to call Haiti. It wasn't appropriate. It wasn't appropriate for this
But his
newly
base
elected
sticks with him,
congresswoman.
even though. So you think her base will stick with her?
I don't know. I think so. I don't think it's appropriate. The level of discourse in this country has reached the basement. It's despicable. It's disgusting.
You know why? I sort of identify with her.
I hope it
I
comes
identify
up.
with her because I'm capable of saying something like that off the top of my head at a rally
You're not
somewhere.
running for office.
But there is
I'm
a
not?
difference. I will say, Joy.
That's what I've been doing for 20 years here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I will say, I mean, I have the mouth of a trucker. I'm the last person to talk about anyone swearing. I also am hired to give speeches. And when I give speeches, I'm not swearing and using stump speech as a that's a speech. You're speaking in front of a group of people.
I know, but she was kind of responding to the moment. It was
I'm just giving my view on it, and I think that it is inappropriate. I also think when they go low, we go high. Is clearly the message that is evaporated with Michelle Obama. It is not filtered down to the new crop of Democrats coming up. It's go for the jugular, impeach in every way possible.
She's
swear
one
as much as
Democrat coming
possible.
up. She's the only one that used the language.
But she's
Let's not globalize
But she's a interesting new. I believe that she's Muslim. Is that correct?
Yes.
She's an interesting new crop that is representative of the new generation of Democrats, which is highly left, highly angry, and I would say, obviously, using rhetoric that is not in the vein of Michelle Obama.
Well, listen, I don't think all the Democrats are that way. I can tell you in my district.
But not all Republicans are like Trump either. We're in this place right now.
Exactly. Mitt Romney is not
I
like
didn't say all. I said
Mitt
that
Romney's
crap coming up.
But
the
we
whole
had
crop coming up is not.
I don't think
No,
we
there's
can.
but it's. I mean, there's an interesting shift that has happened. Like in my district, after having a Republican congresswoman there for almost 30 years, elected Donna Shalala, who at 78 is the second oldest to get elected. She was Clinton's former health secretary, and back then she used to be left of a center on the Democratic Party. Today, she is a centrist in the Democratic Party. So I think there has been a shift in both parties to the right and to the left. And, you know, and you're right, not all Republicans are the same. I think, you know, Mitt Romney getting sworn in yesterday, and I was at his ceremony too, tells you that there is some diversity within the Republican Party.
Yes, we discussed him.
I mean, can't we give Dan Crenshaw a little more like props than Romney here? I mean, there's more interesting Republicans coming up as well than just Romney.
A little more authenticity.
Yeah,
too.
maybe somebody I can trust a little more.
Well, he has the heft. He has the heft, even though I'm not in love with him.
With who?
With Romney.
The shapeshifter.
Mr. Frog Legs at John George with Trump.
Okay.